Hello everybody, this is Dr. Tangela Colston. I want to welcome you to my channel. I'll be giving a lot of advice on how to be successful in your business and personal life, as well as sharing some of the gems on how you can be successful in your entrepreneurial journey. Hello everybody, this is Dr. Tangela Colston. Welcome to my channel. I have a very special guest that's here today, Ms. Zatavia, and she's going to talk a little bit about her brand, about who she is, and I'm going to ask her a little bit about herself and her background. And so tell us a little bit about yourself and how do we find you on social media?
On social media, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Mostly Facebook and Instagram. My business is Bossy Advertisement Service. Spelled the way it is, BOSSYCKADVERTISMENT. So Bossy Chick Advertisement.
We'll put the link
Service.
at the
Yes.
bottom.
Facebook, same thing. You can find me at Bossy Chick Advertisement and Services. We are a social media advertisement company and a personal assistant freelance company.
Awesome. So you're pretty busy.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit, how long have you had your business?
I've had my business since 2016, March of 2016. And it was birthed within Secret Boss Chick Society.
Awesome. And I know even before Secret Boss Chick Society, you've worked with some well-known people. Who are, name a couple people that you've worked with.
I've worked mainly with like record companies based out of Atlanta. I've dealt with 6103 Entertainment. I have been personal assistants to the group Nappy Roots. Actually, my son's godfather is Fish Scales of Nappy Roots, so I've always still stayed connected with like record companies, just the freelance side, so that kind of helped the business I'm in now.
Awesome. And so a little bit about your business journey. You said that you have a new business. Tell us a little bit about some of the hardships or struggles with being an upcoming business or being a small business. Tell us a little bit about that.
Small businesses in general is always kind of underrated. No one, if you're, it's kind of stereotypical a little bit. If your name is not out there, then you get a little bit more hardship. You know, who are you? What can you do for me? Well, this well-known company can do that, you know, so it's always hard. So you always thinking of new marketing and branding. I'm a marketing company, but I have to market. I have to do branding, you know, to kind of make other people feel comfortable. So my market is typically towards small business because we can relate and I can be more personable to small businesses.
Okay. And so I feel like even with being a small business owner, though, that is one like big hardship of trying to figure out everything and trying to make things happen. And so what kind of encouraged you to start your business?
Depression. When you are, I feel like when people go through different hardships or success, one way or another, something is driven. And at some point, sometimes you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And
so this may seem a little bit funny. So out of being depressed, you started a business? Most people would not go in that route. So how did that work? Like, what does that look like for you?
For me, you get tired of being a victim. Even when you're evolving and you're not sure which way you're going, like I'm always trying to figure something out. And even with, you know, depression is real. It's, you know, I'm not going to say I figured it all out. I'm not going to say that I don't find myself drifting back there at some points, but I want to have something that's a legacy of my own. So that was important for me. So when I dealt with the depression, I never wanted a business. I never dreamt of having a business. That just was not my thing. I'm a supporter. I'd rather be behind the scenes and support someone else and see them win. And I'm still okay with that. But I was okay with being behind the scene. But coming out of, you know, starting to come out the depression with my own business itself, it gave me something else to be hopeful for. While still supporting other people, which is my passion.
Do you feel like sometimes supporting other people can lead you more into depression because the expectations of people and their expectations on you and trying to be there for other people. Do you feel like that was a contributing factor to depression?
Yes and no. Yes and no, because I figured out that when I put myself into other people, that was a way for me to get away from myself.
Mm.
So sometimes everybody deal with things differently, and for me, um, I didn't want to be important enough.
Wow. I know a lot of people deal with not feeling important, maybe even not feeling important enough. So when you say not feeling important enough, are you talking about self worth? Are you talking about just not feeling worthy? Like, what does not feeling important enough mean?
Self worth, worthy. Anybody that I felt was close to me that I poured myself into, genuinely and wholeheartedly, have let me down in some way. And I had the unrealistic that you would never let me down, because it was an unrealistic thing, but that wasn't my feeling. That wasn't my truth. That's not something that I wanted to look at a person that way. I felt like it was a negative thing, which coming out of it and and kind of realizing that it's okay not to have an expectation. I had an expectation for every single person that was attached to me.
Wow. That's heavy. Having expectations on people is a really heavy thing, and so I know Zatavia is newly married, and so marriage is hard, and I know that you're newly married and you've been married before. So how does that unfold into your world as far as dealing with self worth and dealing with maybe depression and self esteem?
Um, the divorce was going through that was assisting in my depression, so to speak. I was
Mm-hmm.
already feeling unworthy.
Mm-hmm.
I already felt, that my self worth wasn't there. Again, I label when people used to ask me one thing, give me one thing who's a Tavy, I simply just said victim.
Mm.
And I was comfortable in saying that. And when I went through that divorce and what I felt marriage was, this was somebody I given my whole life up for. So you had an obligation to me. Outside of God, I've never, not believed in God and what he can do for me. But as being human, sometimes you just lose sight and you put your so much into someone. And I poured myself into my marriage, where
Do you
God
feel
was a
like
second thought for me.
Well, I have a question. Do you feel like your husband in the beginning poured as much into you as you poured into him?
When I think about it, no, because I didn't care. As long as I was doing, I didn't see what he was not doing for me.
Wow. Always being a giver, I think, is a very, very hard thing because people will victimize you because they know that you're a giver and you will give everything and they will take it all. And how does that, feeling like being a victim and being divorced before, how does that affect your how does that affect your marriage now, your new
Whew.
marriage?
It it put a lot of, and I know it put a lot of weight on him, um, because it took years. It took a long time for me not to have an expectation of what my last marriage was, and if I get married again, I never wanted to be married again. You could have
Mm.
never told me I was going to be married again. I got to a point where I was okay with not doing it. I wanted it so bad to a point that I didn't want it anymore.
Mm.
Of what my thought or expectation would be for a real marriage.
So I have a question. Outside of wanting something so bad and being married, can you think of one other thing that you wanted just as bad?
I've always just wanted a family. I never wanted a business. I always wanted to support people, and I always wanted to be the heart of my family. Whether if it was my personal family with marriage and kids, or just my immediate family itself, I wanted to be the one to just be the heart. That when people think of me as like the giver, and I'm the warmth, and I didn't always get that.
So do you feel like, always having people take and wanting that family factor, even with being a new business owner, do you feel like people support you as much as you support them.
No, but when I evolved, that's where my thought process of expectation changed. I no longer have that expectation for anybody. My only expectation is from God because He's the only person that's never let me down, even when I didn't want to see it. So me evolving was okay to say I'm still going to pour into you and not expect anything back, and I'm no longer going to be hurt by that.
I think that that's very important. Someone very very close to me um, had really really disappoint me and hurt me, and I remember my husband saying to me, when you take off that expectation off people, you don't give them the ability or authority to hurt you. And so, not only in our businesses, but also in our personal lives, um, just taking that expectation off people, you know, um, have that been really hard for you to not expect anything, even though you're
Absolutely.
constantly pouring and constantly encouraging people?
Absolutely. I can't say that I have it all together. Like sometimes you'll find yourself, even with me, for the most part, being okay with the expectations. Sometimes it might depends on a certain person or if you expect it or who, and you may be in your feelings a little bit, and then I sit back and say, okay, wait, I said I'm not doing that no more,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of shifting the change a little bit because what was okay with me is saying that regardless, whoever it is, I'm not going to stop supporting because that's genuinely who I am. So even though I'm kind of pissed off at you because you didn't do X, Y, and Z, you can probably call me tomorrow and I'll be like, all right, what time I got to be there? So it doesn't matter. Because
I think that that's important because when God qualifies you, you qualify the call. So I remember, even with me starting a business early on, once you believe in you, it doesn't matter who else believe in
right.
you. The seed starts with yourself. So I see a lot of people now that the seed has manifested that I always knew you were going to be great. Great job. I see you evolving. And so sitting here talking to you, you have all of those tools already and your heart is in the right place. So what are some things that you would like to see people that you are supporting all the time genuinely do to support you in your business? What are some things that people can do to support you more?
In my business itself, having that genuine interest. I mean, I don't never, really require say, hey, I need some funds so we can go and do this, or whatever. If you donate, I might ask for donations and do certain things. But for me, a simple phone call or even asking, what is your next journey? Being genuine with someone and say, or can we sit down and brainstorm? Is it something that I can support you in and being kind of, side by side with you? When you're genuine, whether if it's personal or business, that's important to me because now I'm like, I can count on you.
Yeah.
And you can count on me. You know what I'm saying? So people, whether if you know me, whether if you don't know me, having a genuine interest on what I do and where I want to go is always the first step. Because
So
I might
first
not
and
know.
foremost, absolutely, and I know that you are a member of Secret Boss Chick Society, and you are actually one of the founding people that kind of I sat on the phone with, and we sat, and I was just like, I want to start this thing, and I want to empower women, and I know that genuinely you were all in from day one. So how has Secret Boss Chick Society helped support through your journey with your business?
I learned to pray. I never was comfortable in praying. What was authentic
It's
for
important.
me is that Secret Boss Chicks Society did not start off as an entrepreneurship. It was genuine about, women empowerment. And without anybody knowing during that time, I just felt like that was a beginning of a little mustard seed for me. Like, you guys were supporting me and didn't even know that I was in my darkest time. Nobody.
Wow.
So you just never know when something is starting genuine, and like I said, I pour myself into stuff to stop thinking about me, so it just so happened being something that could bless me.
Well, you know what? I'm so glad that she is a guest today on my YouTube. I'm going to ask all my followers, whether you're watching or you subscribed, I want you to give everybody your Cash App. So if everybody that's watching this, that's sharing this, if everybody can send a $5 seed and be a blessing to Zatavia and her business ventures, God is getting ready to do something so supernatural because of your obedience. And you may feel like, you don't receive as much support, but these are always the humbling beginnings. Um, And I feel like I've learned the most in my entrepreneurial journey and in business, in my most humble, don't have enough money, trying to figure this thing out, trying to come up with a solution. I've learned the most in those most humble times. And so I'm really excited and honored to have you here. And I could not go without this YouTube without saying that this is my sister. And so I'll talk about that on another YouTube. But for today, it's really all about her, and it's all about her journey and overcoming all of the things that she's doing, and just constantly being a blessing and being a supporter of small businesses ultimately. So thank you so much for joining us. And as always, if you are just joining my channel, make sure you subscribe because you want to hear more about what Tay is doing. You want to hear more about Secret Boss Chick Society and about my entrepreneurial journey as well. Make sure that you are also clicking the notification bell so that you don't miss a beat, and find out exactly what's happening with all of the entrepreneurs that are joining my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for listening.